The Little Book of Common Sense Investing, The Only Way to Guarantee Your Fair Share of Stock Market Returns, by John C. Bogle. This is a book summary. Let me ask you something. Are you exhausted by the constant buzz of financial advice? One day it's buy tech stocks, the next it's sell everything and go to gold. You've probably scrolled through more hot tips than TikToks. And let's be honest, it all starts to feel like you're gambling in a glittery, overhyped casino rather than building real wealth. But what if I told you there's a way to escape all that noise? To grow your money quietly, steadily, and relentlessly over time, without needing a PhD in finance or checking your portfolio 5 times a day? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into one of the most brutally honest and refreshingly simple books ever written on investing. The Little Book of Common Sense Investing by none other than John C. Bogle, the founder of Vanguard and the godfather of the index fund. This book didn't just ruffle a few feathers on Wall Street, it started a revolution. Bogle stood up and said the words that sent shockwaves through the investment world. Stop trying to beat the market. Yep, no magic tricks, no insider secrets. Just math, just truth, and a lot of common sense. Let's unpack it. Part 1, The Parable of Gotrocks. Alright, picture this. A sprawling, fabulously wealthy family, the Gotrocks. Think old money. Think generational wealth. Think everything. These folks owned it all. Every single share in every single company across America. From corner stores to corporate giants, if it made a profit, the Gotrocks got a slice. They didn't mess around with buying or selling stocks. They didn't need to. They simply let their wealth grow through the natural power of capitalism. Businesses producing value, paying dividends, reinvesting profits, compounding over time. It was a beautifully boring, yet brilliantly effective system. Then came the helpers. They arrived dressed sharp, speaking slick, brokers, money managers, financial gurus. You could be making so much more, they whispered. Let us help you outperform the others, beat the market, get richer faster. And the Gotrocks cousins, oh, they took the bait. Soon they were swapping stocks like baseball cards, trying to outdo one another, hiring experts to help them trade better, and of course paying fees. Lots of fees. They paid commissions, taxes on gains, advisory costs. All for the promise of just a little more return. But instead of getting richer, their slice of the pie started shrinking. Not because the pie itself was smaller, businesses were still churning out profits, but because so much of the pie was now going to the helpers. The brokers, the analysts, the consultants. It was like watching a leaky bucket. Every time they traded, another drop escaped. Finally, a wise old uncle stood up and said, "Enough! If we stop trying to outsmart each other and just hold the whole market, like we used to, we'll once again own 100% of the wealth being created. No more games, no more fees, no more helpers." That, my friends, is the parable of the Gotrocks family. Bogle's brilliant metaphor for what most of us are doing wrong. Trying to outsmart the market is how you lose. Owning the whole thing and doing nothing? That's how you win. So what's the lesson here? The stock market is a winner's game. Until you try to play it like a casino. The more you move, the more you lose. And guess who always wins? The house. The helpers. Wall Street. Part 2, The Big Idea. Bogle's message? It's almost shockingly simple. So simple, in fact, it feels rebellious. Ready for it? Own the entire market. Do it through a low-cost index fund. And then, here's the real kicker. Hold it. Forever. That's it. No market timing, no stock tips, no 10-screen Bloomberg terminals. Just buy the whole haystack and stop looking for the needle. You see, while traders are busy making noise, chasing momentum, flipping shares, reacting to headlines, businesses are out there doing the real work. They're building, innovating, solving problems, generating profits, and paying dividends. According to Bogle, over the past century, US businesses, as a whole, have delivered a remarkable average return of about 9.5% per year. But here's the problem. Investors didn't see 9.5%. Nope, most only earned 6 to 7%, sometimes less. Why? Because they got in their own way. Or worse, they paid others to get in the way for them. High fees, poor timing, chasing past performance, selling low and buying high, paying capital gains taxes from unnecessary trades, hiring helpers who promise alpha but rarely deliver. That 2 to 3% difference may not sound like a lot, but over a lifetime, it's the difference between retiring early and wondering if you can retire at all, between financial freedom and financial anxiety. And here's where Bogle drops the mic. Don't look for the needle in the haystack. Just buy the haystack. Forget trying to pick the next Tesla or time the next market crash. You don't need to be clairvoyant. You just need to be consistent. Bogle didn't give us a hot take. He gave us a strategy for life. And yes, it's boring. Wonderfully boring. But that's the point. Because boring is profitable. And simple works. Part 3, Why You Lose When You Try to Win. Bogle lays it out plain and sharp. In investing, you get what you don't pay for. And let's talk performance. Study after study, from Ivy League researchers to financial watchdogs, confirms the same thing. The more you trade, the worse you do. Why? Because activity breeds cost. Costs eat returns. And over time, even small costs compound like termites, slowly eating away at your wealth. The harsh reality? Trying to beat the market is like trying to sprint on a treadmill set to max incline. Exhausting. Risky. And you end up exactly where you started, just sweatier and poorer. The financial industry is designed to make investing look hard, emotional, urgent. Act now, don't miss this opportunity. Sound familiar? That's not advice, that's advertising. But the people who really understand how money grows, the bogleheads, the long-term thinkers, the legends of quiet wealth, they know the truth. Beating the market isn't just hard. After taxes, after fees, after time, it's statistically impossible for most people. So now you're probably wondering, okay, what do I actually do with all this wisdom? Well, here it is, John Bogle's investing prescription in 4 beautifully boring steps. Buy a total stock market index fund. Own every public company in America, not just a few flashy names. From the giants like Apple and Amazon to the quietly growing regional banks and utility companies, you get it all, automatically balanced and rebalanced by the market itself. Keep your costs as close to zero as humanly possible. Bogle was fanatical about this. Why? Because every extra percentage point in fees is like a hole in your financial bucket. Over time, those leaks add up to thousands, even millions, lost to the helpers. Hold it for decades, not days. Don't watch the stock ticker like it's a soap opera. Tune out the drama. As Bogle said, the stock market is a giant distraction to the business of investing. So don't get distracted. Stay the course. Ignore the news. Ignore the noise. Trust the math. Because the math is on your side. Compound interest doesn't care about headlines. It rewards patience. It rewards discipline. And it rewards the quiet investor who doesn't flinch when the market shakes. Look, this strategy won't make you the life of the party. You won't be bragging about the next big IPO or your crypto gains from last week. But here's what you will get. A steady share of the productivity and profits of every major business in America. Long-term wealth that grows quietly and powerfully over time. And freedom. Real financial freedom. You won't need to worry about what Jerome Powell says next or whether the Fed raises rates. You'll be free from the stress, the FOMO, the endless what should I do now anxiety. Because with this strategy, you already did it. And now, your only job is to wait. John Bogle didn't just write a book, he lit a fire under an industry that had long been rigged against the average investor. He built Vanguard on a radical idea, that the investor should own the investment company and keep the profits. He gave the world index funds, simple, low cost, no BS investing tools. He gave you a way to stop speculating and start owning. He turned common sense into a strategy, and in doing so, changed millions of lives. So the next time you feel that itch to jump on a stock tip, to chase the hype, to beat the market, remember the Gotrocks family and how they got poorer by trying to outsmart themselves. Remember the helpers and how they always got paid, whether you won or lost. And ask yourself the question Bogle always asked: do you want to look smart or do you want to be wealthy? Because true wealth, it doesn't come from chasing. It comes from owning. If this episode brought you clarity, hit that like button, subscribe for more straight-up investing truth, and let's hear it in the comments. Are you Team Index or still riding with the hashtag Team Gamble? Until next time,